Hi everyone, welcome to our first virtual Creating with Karin. The IT department has been very busy working on trying to create a better experience for everyone, me as well as you. So today we're gonna try out a couple new things. We've got some fancy lights and I have a fancy microphone, so we're really getting up here in the world, and hopefully that will help your experience and make better viewing for you. And today we're going to do a couple Creating with Karin projects. It's been a long time since we've done Creating with Karin. Usually we all get together in the classroom and I have stations set up all around the classroom, and it's a whole day event, and we go from station to station and make all kinds of great things and have snacks and treats and talk and socialize. But today we're going to do Creating with Karin in the adorable garden room. Last time we were together in here, it was all decked out for the 4th of July. Well, now it's fall, and it is now set up for fall. It is AKA Pumpkin Central. I love pumpkins. Big pumpkins, small pumpkins, real pumpkins, fake pumpkins, handmade pumpkins. Pumpkins. I love pumpkins. So today, one project that we're going to do are these adorable planted pumpkins, and we're going to show you how to do those. And then we have been having so much fun with our silicone mitts and trivets that I thought I would show you how to make little silicone coasters. These are called Coaster Ride. And so I'm going to show you how to do these. These will be great Christmas gifts. You can make them for guys. You can make them for your girlfriends. I made little sewing ones. So I'm going to show you how to do those fast and easy. But first, let's look at the pumpkins. I'm going to move these out of the way. And then I'm going to show you how to do these pumpkins. They are so much fun to do. You can do them. It's a great project because you can even get the grandkids involved and the kids involved making these. So I'm going to stand up because I can't work sitting down. So let me show you these. You can use real pumpkins or you can use imitation pumpkins. I've used imitation pumpkins just because they last longer and they're a little bit easier to work with. So let me show you what I did. I like to do all kinds of things with pumpkins. Sometimes I make handmade pumpkins. Sometimes I take pumpkins like these. They're always so slippery. A faux pumpkin like this from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I paint it up. And what I'll do is I'll take off these stems that come on these pumpkins because they kind of look fake to me. So I will take the pumpkin stems off of my pumpkins at the end of the year when I'm done, and I put these in a paper bag, store them away with my fall decorations, and the next year I pull them out and I will hot glue them to the top of my faux pumpkins to give them a little bit more of a realistic look. And I just think they look a lot nicer than these little stubs that they put on the top of their pumpkins. So just I like to recycle, reuse, and refurbish. So you can reuse the tops of your pumpkins. You don't have to use pumpkin tops. On this one, I put a stick for the pumpkin stem. Over here on this one, I used a little branch and put that in. Just hot glue it right in, and you're good to go. But this year, I'm all about planting up these little pumpkins. Wouldn't this be fun on your Thanksgiving table? And then at each place setting, you have a little planted pumpkin at each person's table setting. So let me show you how to do this. It is so fun and easy. The first thing that I do is I take my faux pumpkin, and you can use real pumpkins. If you use real pumpkins, you just cut off the top and pop off your stem. Save your stem for next year because you're not going to use that with this project. And then you don't even have to clean out all the innards of your pumpkins unless you want to make pumpkin seeds. Then you can clean it all out and make pumpkin seeds as well. But just clean out the inside of your pumpkin and use that. These are faux pumpkins. They're styrofoam. You get them at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Right now they're all on sale, so that's always a good deal. I start out and I just use a old steak knife. Then this is probably not the part that your grandkids are going to do. You'll probably want to do this part. I take an old steak knife and I just kind of cut around, decide what size hole I need for my plant, and cut around it with a steak knife, and then just use a spoon like you're making twice baked potatoes and you're cleaning out the inside of your potato, And you're going to do this over a garbage can because this gets really, really, really messy. But the kids could sit and scoop these out. So what I do is I use these little terrarium plants. You can get them at Stein's. You can get them at Milliger's. Terrariums are really popular again these days, so they have a nice selection. So I just grab those little plants that are in that section at Stein's. Then I realized that at first I thought, well, you can just take this and pop it right in, but these of course have little holes in the bottom, so if you water it, the water is going to go through and into that styrofoam, and I think that would get pretty messy. So I thought, okay, I have to have some kind of cup to put in here. So in this one, and I don't know if I can get it out. I probably can't get it out. So I took the bottom of my Starbucks cup that I got in the morning, and I cut it down to size because it's really tall. I just made it shorter. In this one, I don't know if I can pull this one out either. I've got them all popped in there pretty tight. This one I used I get these little soup containers at Tommy's every day for lunch, and I just use that. So then that helps me determine what size hole I need to cut in the top of my pumpkin. So I just simply cut around to make the right size hole and then scoop it out. For these little pumpkins, I reuse my little K-cups from the coffee. So great way to recycle. And so that way I just pop my containers right into my pumpkin after I've cut and scooped out my hole. And before I pop it in, I take and I replant my little plant into the K-cup and pop it in, and you're good to go. That way when you water it, it's not going to leak all over. So you can do any size pumpkin, big, small. Use your creativity. This one I just planted a fern. This one I have a fern and another little plant coming out. To cover up the dirt, I use this little stuff, whatever they call it. This stuff, pop it around. I put it a little bit heavier around the base of the plant to cover up the dirt. And then just kind of floof it out, and you can put a little, you can put a lot. This is another spot where the kids can help you out. They can do the planting, and then they can put the little, moss or whatever around the bottom of your plant. I don't hot glue it in. That way it's easy to pop out when I'm all done. At the end of this should last at least 2 months. If you do it in a real pumpkin, that will last probably about a month, and then your pumpkin will start to go. But these will last a good 2 months, which is really what I want. I like to use it from September all the way through the end of November. So as long as I can keep these plants alive, they're going to look good. So I have found that the secret to keeping plants alive, water them. If you forget to water them, they die. Sometimes I get busy working and quilting and I forget to water my poor plants and they look a little droopy. So it's a little bit sad. But hopefully I can keep these guys alive. And the nice thing is these little succulents, they don't take much water. So that's our first Creating with Karin project. Quick, easy, fun, great project to do with the kids. Okay, I'm going to clear these away so that we can do our next project. Our second project for today is called Coaster Ride. These are fun silicone coasters, and you can stack them up, and the pattern has a little container that you can keep your coasters in, but I found that I use my coasters all the time, so I never put it in the container. But if you're going to give it as a gift, a little container, it makes it really, really pretty. So like I said, we have been having a lot of fun making oven mitts and hot pads and trivets with the silicone hot stuff. One of the things that people have had questions about when they're ordering online is what to get and what's the difference. So when you purchase these, and let's get them together here. When you purchase these, the first one you want to purchase is the one with the pattern, because you need the pattern in order to make your oven mitt or your trivet. Once you've got this and you've made one and you decide you love it and you're going to make another one, then you can just purchase the refill. So each one of these comes with a pattern and then one with just the refill. And it's the same with the the trivets, it comes with a pattern, and then just the refill. So the patterns and the refills look different. And of course, the one that has the pattern is more expensive than the one that doesn't have the pattern and it's just the refill. So when you look online, people say, well, the one is more expensive than the other. How come? Well, because one has the pattern and one is just the refill. So we have both of these, all of these online. Patterns and just refills are all online. And your pattern comes with not only the pattern, but a silicone mitt or mat to make one project. So, and that is the exact same as doing the coaster ride. The coaster ride comes, and I lost my little thing, but that's okay. The coaster ride comes with a pattern and 4 silicone coasters, and the refill comes with just coasters. And your little silicone coaster looks like this. So let me show you how to make these. These are so much fun. You can make a whole bunch of them in one afternoon. It goes so fast. Let's get the mitts out of the way, and then let's make some coasters. So what you're going to do is to each coaster has the little silicone coaster part, the top, which you see showing through the top of your coaster, like this. Then you'll have a little piece of batting, and then you'll have the back. So when you make this, I made mine so that the inside of your coaster is the same as the back, but the front and the back could be different. I made it the front and back are the same, and then the binding is different. So that is really, that's all there is to making these. You're going to put these 3 pieces, 4 pieces actually, all together. And I just kind of binder clip these, and I do one line of stitching going all the way around using my zipper foot like we did with the oven mitts and the trivets. So I just kind of binder clip these together, and I found that it was easier if I binder clipped them together and stitched it all the way through first and then added my binding. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my God, I have to make bias binding to go around these. Yes, you do. But I am going to show you the miracle binding method, bias binding method. In fact, you can do it with regular binding, but this will make a bias binding so fast, so easy. And I had done this at Patchwork Party probably last fall, I think. And I had always said that I would do a video on it and never got around to it. So people will come in and ask me, how did you do that? You showed us this in Patchwork Party and now I don't remember how to do it. So I'm going to show you today. It will be on video and it will be in our YouTube channel. So anytime you click onto the YouTube channel, you'll be able to find this video and be reminded as to how to do this. So I am going to take a fat quarter and I am going to make about 4.5 yards of bias binding out of this fat quarter. I'm not going to measure any, well, I am going to measure at the end, but I'm not going to work with funky, I'm not going to figure out angles. I'm not going to, let me show you how this works. It is so fast. It is so simple and you will love it. And it's going to work perfect for these little coasters today. So the first thing you're going to do is take your fat quarter and you're going to lay it in front of you so that the long edges are on top and bottom and the short edges are on the sides. Okay. Then you're going to take your top left-hand corner and you're going to draw it to the center. Approximate center. You're not going to measure. You're not going to find the exact middle. You're just going to kind of approximate where the middle is. Then you're going to take your left-hand corner, lower left-hand corner, and draw it up towards the approximate center as well. Kind of line those up just like that. They can overlap. It doesn't matter. They can overlap, like it could be ended up like this. If you know, like I said, you're not measuring, but you're going to try to get it approximately in the center. Okay? Perfect is not necessary here. Then I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to turn it clockwise so that it's in front of me with the folds right in front of me, up above and down below. I'm going to take my lower fold and I'm going to match it up with the upper fold. You're going to see that there's a little space here. That's fine. These two edges are not going to line up exactly. They don't need to. These two folds want to line up. Then you're simply going to take your bottom fold and line it up with the top two folds. You're all set to start cutting your bias binding. Isn't that exciting? Okay, let me show you what I'm going to do. So for these little guys, you're going to want a 2.5 inch bias binding. So if you're going to sew something and you just want 2 1/4, at this point, that's how you're going to measure. So I'm going to lay I have a 2.5 inch ruler here. That's the easiest way to do it. I don't have to think about it. I'm just going to use this as to line up. I line up one of my lines with the fold and kind of pick in the center of your strip. It doesn't have to be on the perfect center. I'm going to cut, except I can't cut sitting down. I need a little pressure. I'm going to cut. All right. Now I'm going to kind of slide this over. The width of my ruler is 2.5 inches. That is the width of my binding. So I'm going to line up the edge of my ruler with the edge that I just cut, and I'm going to cut another strip. I'm going to continue all the way down my strip, lining up the edge of my ruler with the edge that I just cut and one of my lines along the top or the bottom of my strip. And you're going to cut all the way along. You'll cut all the way to the end, and then you can come over on this one and do the same on this edge. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut these. And I would cut all the way along at 2.5, all the way until I couldn't cut any more strips. Okay. Now I'm unfolding my strips, and you can see that now my little stripes are on the bias and on a diagonal, which makes a really cute binding. And if on this project, I don't need to sew strips together, because as you can see, I can go all the way around one of my coasters with one strip. So that's really cool. But if you were doing this and quilting something larger and you wanted to sew these together, what you would do, it's always hard to know how to sew these together. So you're going to take and just pretend this was one whole strip, put them right sides facing you, make the diagonals go the same direction. I'm going to pick this strip up and I'm going to lay it right sides together with the other strip. Ta-da! And you're going to have a little tail sticking out. You want this to be about 1/4 inch because this is where your 1/4 inch is going to go. And right here, and so you will just stitch these together and they will create a perfect bias binding. So that's what you need to sew around these little guys. I used my zipper foot, and I used a little bit smaller stitch. I went to probably a 1.5 to go around this. Just because you're taking smaller stitches, it's easier for you to kind of make a curve as you go all the way around. Then it just flips over to the other side, and I hand stitched it down, and it makes a perfect little coaster. Aren't these great? You can make these for your husband, for the son-in-laws, for your daughters. I made little quilting ones. I'm going to give them to some of my quilting buddies, and they are just great little coasters. So I hope you give these a try, and I hope you try a cute little pumpkin and give some pumpkins to some friends. I was also thinking that this would make a really great little teacher gift. So, or, a gift for yourself. Who deserves it more than you? So give these projects a try. If you have any questions, comment below and I will answer your questions as soon as I see them. If you ask me a question at midnight, you probably will have to wait till morning to get the answer. But ask me questions, email me, call us at the store. The little coasters are in the Creating with Karin section of our website for purchase, and they will be 25% off, or 20% off, sorry girls, not 25, 20% off for the rest of the week. So give them a try. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with them. And thanks for joining us for our first virtual Creating with Karin. Stay tuned, we're going to have more. Thanks, bye.